Yeah.
Come on, I don't want to be over here until we check in. Do anything? 5 days?
Hey everyone, my name is Zach. I'm a 22-year-old competitive boulderer from Canada, currently living near Frankfurt, Germany. Welcome back to the COMPCLIMB training series, where I record all of my training, provide in-depth analysis of every session, and just chat about climbing with an emphasis on competition. If you enjoy the series, consider leaving a like on the video and subscribing to the channel. It really helps out a ton. So Maddie is joining me on the voiceover here today, just because, as you can tell by the title of this video, this was like a particularly not fun day, and this was just like a day of unluckiness and suffering and grumpy Zach, and it's kind of a fun story actually, and to have us both together, like, to tell it, I think will enhance the whole story.
Well, I've been on rest month this whole time, so I wonder if like the one time I decided to join you at the gym is the day you have like the worst.
You're the curse of the day.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, well, so it started off like fine, like not too bad. On our way to the gym, like the train that we would have liked to take to Mannheim, which is like an hour train ride from our apartment, plus like some bike rides, which kind of makes it like an hour and a half in total. The train we wanted to take was canceled, so we ended up having to go to the gym a little bit later. And since I was going to do 2 sessions today, it's like a late start always kind of makes it hard, because training in the evening I get sleepy, and sometimes I'll end up like bailing on sessions just due to fatigue. So we ended up getting to the gym a little bit later than we wanted to. And then it was also like quite hot today, like on the train ride to the gym. Like Maddie decided to inform me like, hey, it's going to be like 30 something degrees at the gym. And I didn't really like look at the weather. Like when we go to Mannheim, it's actually important that we check the weather, because this location doesn't have air conditioning. And not just that, it's got like these glass ceilings that almost like magnify the sun and kind of cook you alive. And so if you remember like a few videos, like, you know, a month ago or something, we were making a couple of videos where we were training in almost 40-degree heat, and the holds were hot to the touch, and it was insane. Today wasn't quite that bad, but it was definitely affecting me. And I ended up having like a pretty poor feeling session and like kind of a weak feeling session, just because I almost felt like I was at altitude. Like if you remember when we were preparing for Vail, I did like a bunch of cardio training to prep for that, like endurance, and I mentioned how I was just feeling it in my chest and feeling like I couldn't exert like at my full power in those sessions while we were at altitude. And that's kind of what I was almost feeling today in just the heat. And so I definitely felt like I was underperforming a little bit, and like just sort of on the boulders throughout the session. But actually it was like that, but also like a combination of, I think the setters at Bloc, it kind of, after climbing here, it felt like they were trying to put up like a few more harder boulders and just like put some harder test pieces up, because there were some 7s that I got on today that were, even though I wasn't feeling like quite super awesome, I was definitely like, hey, this feels like a step up from the boulders that were at Mannheim previously. And maybe they didn't appreciate the fact that I sent a bunch of them. So, and it was much appreciated. Like there were some super quality hard boulders, like this one we're trying here. I don't end up sending. I stick this first move a couple times. It's like a cool move, but this mantle in the middle here is like really physically hard. Maybe I was looking at it after, like I was watching the video, and maybe I could be stepping in like a different position on this volume to do this mantle, like a bit further out from the wall to give myself a bit more leverage. But yeah, I think I'll have to like revisit Mannheim on the next boulder session or something, because I got a bunch of stuff to try here. And it was kind of hard too, because coming to this gym for just like an hour a session of bouldering and like having a whole bunch of stuff, it was almost a bit overwhelming. And sometimes I get like, it's funny, like my desire to like have fun and send a bunch of boulders can almost put pressure on me the same way that a competition does. It's like when I start falling on this boulder a bunch, I'm like getting nervous, and I'm like, oh dang, I'm not gonna have enough time to go try like some of these other boulders that I want to get on, and I'm like, oh, there goes that boulder, and all of a sudden it almost like starts creating this bit of panic, and it's almost good comp practice, more so for like a scramble round.
It's the exact same for me. When I get close to a comp, I have like 20-minute sessions, and I'll go to like a new gym to just get like some on-sighting, and I'll have a whole gym full of new climbs, and I have 20 minutes, and it's just so much pressure. And some of my worst sessions, honestly, are on these like 20-minute days where I have just too much to work with.
Yeah, that being said, you're still good at it though, and that's something I always noticed about you is it can be hard, but you're still disciplined enough to do it.
Well, I also notice about you that you might as well say your sessions are an hour 15 because you always go overtime. Like I have never seen you not go overtime.
It's true, and I do kind of account for it. Like if I put an hour session, it's like, okay, it's an hour session, but it means an hour and 15 max or something. And this session ended up being like an hour and 15 minutes overtime. And like that being like when I do get close to a competition that like a high priority competition that I'm trying to peak for, and I do have like some on-site specific sessions, I will be a bit better about it. Like we were having those sort of sessions like right before Vail, and you'll notice I was actually able to maintain or like control myself and just have 20-minute sessions. So let's talk about this boulder that we're trying here. This is their outdoor wall at Mannheim, and if you like at the beginning of the video, got some clips of like they built another outdoor wall, so now they have like both outdoor walls are kind of like back to back, and it's really fun out here. I love climbing on the outdoor wall. That's like a fun thing about both the Studio Bloc locations. And you can see we're doing some funky stuff right here in the arete.
I remember watching this for the first time, and I was like, he is really trying hard. Like he just got beat up on the first boulder that we tried earlier, and then he's like getting beat up on the first move, and then he's just like, okay, I just gotta like do the rest of this boulder, and he like pulls this out, this crazy weird beta.
Yeah, it was super cool. When we were just like touring the boulders, like before the session started, this was like the one that caught my eye, and I was like, I have to go try this. It looks so super cool. And I had no idea what like to expect from this first move, honestly. When I first started trying it, it kind of looked like maybe it's a paddle, but then I like tried it once and it made no sense at all, and I could rule it out immediately. And so it looked like, okay, maybe you're just meant to catch this first hold, and it definitely felt possible. I think maybe a few attempts ago, there was one try where I jumped from the start, like kind of a little bit underneath, so I jump out a bit, and I'm able to hold it desperately, and that's like not even near what it would be from the start hold. So I think maybe if I just had that little bit extra bit of energy and power that I just didn't have in the session, maybe I could stick it like that. But eventually I discover that I don't know if this is a break. Maybe it is. I know a couple of setters are actually pretty tall, though, as well, that set at Studio Bloc, particularly the head setter. His name is Eric. He seems like a tall guy. So if he had any part of the forwarding process, I wonder if he caught this sequence that I found out, which is that I can actually just static this first move. That being said, I actually don't end up sticking it, but I know that I can static it. There were so many tries where I was just crazy close to like sticking this first move. It's like my maximum span, and I have to like kind of point my toe and hold as much tension.
And that's like the worst position for you to be in, like when you're like, okay, one more attempt, and then you're like, but I'm so close. Like he was very close. But at a certain point, you just have to say, okay, I gotta walk away from this. But he took like 10 extra attempts to walk away from it. Like it was very close.
That was the 32-degree heat talking. Like the anger was just making me grumpy through this whole session.
It's like compounding as this goes on. But we are in the shade at this point, and there was like a breeze. I was actually pretty comfortable just sitting watching. Like I was like pretty uncomfortable sitting in the gym, just like sitting around doing nothing.
Baking in the microwave.
Exactly. But outside it was completely fine. Like obviously Zach's warmer than I am, but the shade made all the difference. Yeah,
and honestly, it's like we've kind of talked about this as well. It's like I get overheated really easily. Like you'll notice, obviously, that I tend to climb without a shirt, and anytime that I'm wearing a tank top or a shirt in the videos, it's mostly because the gym like has a shirt rule, and it's like sure it's fun to climb without a shirt on, but I don't do it for stylistic reasons. I get overheated so easily. I bet if I went to see a doctor, I would have some sort of condition. And I think it has something to do with, like, I have a super strong metabolism. Like, I've mentioned that I can fill my body with a bunch of garbage and it will just burn it off like nothing. But, like, my body will just get so overheated. I get so sweaty, and it's just so uncomfortable. It's, like, almost like a requirement for me that I have a shirt off, especially in the summer. Otherwise, I'm like, screwed. And in the summer in particular, it will definitely affect what gyms I go to based on whether or not they have a shirt rule.
So you'd say in like Canada it's like 50-50 for shirt rules?
Canada is 50-50. Luckily, like our home gym, like Climbers Rock, where I train mostly, we don't have a shirt rule, so it's fine.
But Germany is like 80 or 90%, right? I don't even think
Germany, I think, Germany, yeah, it's like probably like 75-80% of gyms have shirt rules, but we like
have no shirt rules.
For sure, yeah. No, so I would say like it's mostly in favor of shirts. Like everyone in Munich You have to wear a shirt.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't remember being anywhere in Munich where you could take your shirt off.
I guess we just train here so much more often.
Exactly. Like, we kind of got lucky where we're living near Frankfurt that, like, the 2 studio blocks in Boulder, like, thank God. I don't know, especially in this heat wave, it would have been impossible. Like, a tank top doesn't cut it for me. I have an issue. I get so freaking hot. And then, especially on this, like, particularly hot day when we're climbing in the microwave in Mannheim, it's just crazy. And I was really just feeling it. Like, I could not perform. I couldn't exert like my maximum power, and it was like getting me frustrated. And I was making like dumb decisions in the session, and I was like rapid firing sometimes. Lots of rapid firing. Lots of just not resting enough or doing weird things. That being said, on this boulder, I actually sure I wasn't able to do the first move.
Also, how cool is that like forearm bar that
is,
got on there?
I'm like kind of twisting it against the wall. It's like almost like a heel toe cam. This was like a happy accident that I kind of found. I just tried to. I said if I stuff myself in the corner here somehow I'm gonna find a way through these sequences. So I just kind of tried to do like a mock extend of this boulder. On one of my close tries where I almost stuck the first move, I just kind of put my feet back on and tried to do the boulder as though it was like a send attempt. But like you can see all these tries. And obviously here's like our little next part of like the unluckiest day, like sad Zach story is like just I tried this first move probably 100 times, and every time I felt like so close, and it was just this boulder had my number. It was really getting under my skin. I just wanted to send it. It's such a pretty boulder. And
like
super
I
cool.
hope it comes across in the videos, but like he's getting like more and more frustrated as his day is going on. Like you can see, like if he turned around like between like these attempts, he's just like livid.
Yeah, and usually for anyone that knows me and has like climbed with me, I really am good at not getting too frustrated in the session and just kind of having fun. But when you microwave me at 32 degrees, I'm gonna get upset.
So we've climbed together for like almost 2 years now. And I've seen him frustrated maybe 3 times.
Yeah.
And this was probably like one of the more significant ones.
Yeah. And so you see him like, and it's making me do stupid things. Like, why am I trying this kind of like max limit move? Like, why am I double taking it?
And also, you should just walk away. Just like, this isn't your day. Just like move on. Like, you just can't. I guess we do move on right now. But
yeah, eventually I move on.
It was like 40 minutes on that climb.
I spent a lot of time trying that first move, and then I had to just say nope. So I'm definitely coming back to Mannheim. I think the day after tomorrow we have a boulder session.
Yeah, you're coming back with like a vengeance.
Yeah.
This was supposed to be like the coolest climb of the day. Like this is kind of for me at least. I felt like this is why we came here. Like this was just such a cool boulder that Zach was showing me.
Yeah, I had seen this on social media. We were just chatting about this. I've been saying this a bunch of times to many, like, oh yeah, I saw this boulder on Instagram. I gotta go do it or whatever. I think I'm just spending too much time on it recently, and I'm like, we were saying, like, Maddie was like, hey, do you even know how to like route read anymore? Because I'm just like watching the setters do these boulders, and it's like this balance of like, I want to see what's going on in the gyms, like where should I go, what boulder should I get on, is there cool stuff here, like blah blah blah. But also, yeah, like I do want to like not take too much away from my route reading. So I think I'm just like becoming more aware of this issue, and I kind of gotta like balance it out a bit better. But so yeah, I'd seen like a couple.
As long as you're always aware of it, like it's not too invasive. But yeah, I was really excited to see you do this one. Unfortunately, you were in no headspace to do this.
No,
today.
And this was like another boulder where you almost want to rapid fire a couple times. Like you want to kind of double take or triple take to kind of get the muscle memory going in your mind and have your body learn how to stick this move pretty well. But like that just sucks in the heat to do this. And so this is like sort of my first little set of rapid fire attempts.
So that was the best attempt, yeah.
I almost do it. And now check out this next try. So the setters, I've seen some videos of the setters do this when this was like the first boulder on the wall. It looked like this was the first one they put up. So let's take a look at what's about to happen here. So I do this run. I get nice and close to the wall because I want to stick the move and I want to optimize. And it's funny in the video, it doesn't, like I kind of like, okay, clearly I'm like holding my chest. Like it looks like I'm in a bit of pain or something. Look at this replay. This little black spike, I'm like running across the wall, and this thing almost takes off my nipple. I swear, if I had a little bit more force, like just a little more speed, I would have like a hunk of flesh hanging off of my chest, and we would be in the we would have been in the rest of the day in the hospital.
I'm pretty sure Zach is known for being a little bit dramatic, but it did look pretty painful, and like he had a couple attempts after that, but they were just like garbage. Like he was not getting close to the wall anymore. He was like afraid of it. Even this like slab, like there's nothing on the wall, but he's still like afraid to like get too close to it because it's like actively hurting and bleeding at this point.
Yeah, like I was definitely grumpy. I couldn't try the slab because I was afraid of hitting my chest, and I was grumpy.
And like as you know, like Zach is used to sending something by now, and we have 0 for 0 at this point.
That's true.
We've got like 15. We're overtime now, so it's not a good time to be Zach.
This was a butt kicking for sure. And it's funny, like I filmed like a little close up of my chest to show the damage. It's pretty sizable. But then I started thinking like, oh, I don't know what the YouTube policy is. Like, am I gonna get my video like age restricted or like taken down or something? Because I don't know. I guess, and I looked it up actually, and it's kind of unclear. Like if you show a close up, like I don't know. So I just decided not to put the clip in.
Also, make sure you focus on like Zach's facial expressions. Like this is like some of the worst climb I've ever seen from Zach.
Yeah, it was not so good. Okay, so pay attention to this clip. We're gonna tell the story of the rest of the day, and then we're gonna get to what you're looking at right now.
So there should be a big rack right where I was standing.
If you've watched any of our videos where we're working out on the roof, there's usually a nice big weight rack with like everything you got. You want your pull-up bar, your barbell, whatever, like the whole thing. And so anyway, let's back it up a bit because this is the title of this video is the unluckiest day, right? And so in the gym, it was super hot, didn't send any boulders, got my butt kicked, fell on the first move of boulder probably 50 times, almost lost my nipple, getting super grumpy, whatever.
So when Zach's like super upset, he likes to like cab home. Like he doesn't like, it's pretty tedious to like, get on your bike or your scooter and get to the train station and whatever. So we're like, okay, that's like the concession. Like when we have a bad day, you get to have a cab. Yeah. So we go to get some Thai food because there's a really good Thai place, right?
So for those who remember, like the first video of the German series, I think I mentioned this Thai place was the best Thai place.
Tai Chi, I think it's called.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we go and we get our Thai food, our hot, scalding Thai food.
I had to bail on the Thai food because it was too hot to eat it, and I was getting overheated. I have a problem.
Yeah, mine was great. Like I had like some delicious food, and he ate my rice because my rice wasn't like piping hot.
I got like a noodle bowl, and it was just like warming up way too much.
Well, he let me order for him, and so I'm like, oh yeah, some bowl of hot broth. That sounds great.
Anyway, yeah. So I had to bail on my Thai food. I was like not too hungry, so whatever, it was fine. But anyway, so we took some rentable scooters to this Thai place. It was like 5 minutes away. And then now we have to get to the Mannheim train station to go home. And it's like, we could scooter it. It's like a 15-minute scooter. Like I should have just done it. I like committed to treating myself, but in hindsight, we should have just scootered. Anyway, we like end up like using this app to get a taxi. And it's like kind of like, no, sorry, we were using the Uber app. Okay. So yeah, we were using the Uber app, and like it was just one of those classic scenarios where the guy can't find us, and then I guess he takes the wrong turn, he's getting lost, whatever.
So like it said 9 minutes to start out with, and then add 5 minutes, add 5 more minutes. Then we're like, okay, we have to make a decision because like either we go now and try to make the train like exactly.
Well, at first we weren't paying attention. Like we didn't even know when the next train was, or just we'll go to the station and catch the next train.
Like it's too hard to like plan your life around when the train's gonna go.
Yeah, so as soon as we make this, or as soon as I'm like, okay, are we going to bail on this Uber driver? He's like 6 minutes away at this point, but he's taking so long. So I go, when's the next train? We check it, and it's like, it leaves in 15 minutes, and it's a 15-minute scooter ride. So we waited for this taxi just to like, at the perfect moment, realize that we end up missing the train, right? We can't make it there on time. We end up ditching the Uber and scootering.
So there was a chance we'd make it, so we tried. Like we went really fast, and we were like, jaywalking and whatever, J-scootering. But like the issue was, this train comes every hour, and we have a large distance to get. It's like an hour like train ride home. So we either catch this one or we have to wait an hour. But the one in an hour was actually canceled. So it was this or like 2 hours from now. So we couldn't take that train. So when we got to the station, we had to just find another line. And so we find one more. It's like 5 minutes later. We're like, this is great. But then we get to the like what's it called, the platform.
Yeah.
And it's like a wrong train. It's not covered by like our ticket.
Yeah.
So because it's like leaving, like you can't buy it once you're on the train. You have to get it before you get on the train. So we were about to get on the train. We're all like psyched, like yeah, we just made it. Like it's gonna take us there, and then it's like it's not covered.
Basically, it ended up doubling and a half our travel time home, and consider how grumpy I already am. I'm surprised that I didn't throw like a bigger tantrum than I ended up doing. Anyway, we make it home, and this whole time I'm like dreading the workout that I have to do. That's like slightly later in the day than it was supposed to be because we started our first session later than we wanted to, and I'm like had a bad session. I don't want to do this workout.
And you need keep in mind too, like the hottest point of the day is like 3 p.m. to like 6 p.m. So like he's about to start training like at 5. So it's like really not ideal. The sun's like blistering the whole day of heat is just like compounded on the roof.
So anyway, I'm like, okay, I just got to go to this workout, and it's on a roof. So we get my back like all lathered up in sunscreen, ready to go hangboard while the sun is just like roasting me alive. And then we walk upstairs, and the weight rack is gone. It's just vanished. And meanwhile,
and we also have some of our own, like we put like our own like bar there. We bought a couple weights. It's just all gone.
And so we haven't been here in 3 weeks actually, or something like 3 weeks. I don't know if like there was like noise complaints. Like we
didn't get any complaints for sure.
We never got any complaints, and like our landlord didn't message us. But when I do my hangboard and I'm like done with my hang, I have to like rest the weight on the ground, and there's like people underneath. I don't know. I don't think it was a complaint, but at the end of the day, somebody didn't want it there, so it's gone now.
And it was clearly there for a while. It's not like someone just keeps this as seasonally. It's clearly there all year.
Yeah. Anyway, I like obviously didn't want to do that workout, and part of me was happy that like it was stripped of me. As you see, like I don't end up doing anything. Like Boulder, which is the only gym with like a Beastmaker and like sort of equipment I want, is like an hour and a half trip away at this point if I wanted to, or two pricey taxis, and it's like 7 p.m. at this point, and I'm so done with this day. There's no way I'm going to the gym. I can't summon the courage. So I end up scrapping the workout. We're just not doing it. And that was like the saddest day ever of just everything. And I was saying this to Maddie as well. I'll try to wrap up this video. We've been rambling for so long, but the last little thing I'll say is like, this is kind of how life goes. You got to have the balance, right? We have this day where I win Jackalope. I like unknowingly hang one hand off a crimp, and that's like the one try I need in order to edge out the victory, and then flash last boulder again without knowing that I only have one attempt to work with, and then like all these lucky things happen. You gotta have these days, right?
0 boulders sent.
0 boulders, and then
2 trains missed. No weight rack anymore.
And yeah, now we gotta like figure out what we're doing.
I only did my pull-ups on the roof. I don't do I'm very particular about my setup, and now I don't have any setup. So.
It's pretty sad. We'll just have to go to Boulder for a lot of these things, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that concludes our tale of the saddest day ever. But I'm always one to kind of see the big picture and see that there must be balance, as Thanos says. So this is the balancing out of the good stuff that we've been going through.
Well, luckily there's a rest day tomorrow.
Tomorrow's rest day, and then what I'm gonna do is the day after, like our day 1 on of the 2, we're gonna go back to Mannheim and get revenge on all those boulders. And I think actually, so instead of doing a spiral session, I'm also gonna do a moonboard session just to spice it up because they have a moonboard at Mannheim, so I can do both my sessions there. But anyway. Thanks for watching this video, and tune in for the next episode.